والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أتمان الأكملان خير خلق الله أجمعين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ثم ما بعد. Okay, so the next session now exploring good deeds in another perspective, another dimension. This time it's about to do with the society. So we kind of move from personal level to a family level. Now we're moving even further out and looking at the societal level. What it means in Islam to do virtuous deeds regarding on a societal level. Yeah, your interaction basically in the outside public world. Now we're going to take the passage in Surah Al-Isra, verses 23 to 39 to help us understand that. And this passage, or the surah rather, is very different to Surah Al-Tahrim, because this was revealed in Mecca, as opposed to Tahrim, which is revealed in Medina. Now, there's many differences, of course, between the two eras in the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Main one for the benefit of us studying this passage is that in Mecca, Muslims were living as a minority. Kind of like us living as a minority today, isn't it? Amongst non-Muslims. And the majority populace in Mecca was non-Muslims, and not just non-Muslims, anti-Muslim. That kind of like what we're living in today as well, isn't it? And the third dimension is that they weren't just non-Muslims that were anti-Muslim, they were actually corrupt. They were suffering from a moral bankruptcy. There was a lot of social ills. There was a lot of promiscuity as well. It is known that the actual Qurayshi women would not engage in zina. However, all other Arabs women were known to be either, to be involved in zina, prostitution, and the rest of it. So zina was prevalent. There's moral decay. And that was the scene in Mecca when these verses were revealed. Even on the third level, aren't we living in the same time as that? Where there's moral bankruptcy, a lot of sexualization in society, a lot of corruption, oppression. Wow. And they said the Quran is not relevant. So this is the passage. Now let's start by inshallah reading a part of that passage. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا ربكم أعلم بما في نفوسكم إن تكونوا صالحين فإنه كان للأوابين غفورا وآت ذا القربى حقه والمسكين وابن السبيل ولا تبذر تبذيرا إن المبذرين كانوا إخوان الشياطين وكان الشيطان لربه كفورا وإما تعرضن عنهم ابتغاء رحمة من ربك ترجوها فقل لهم قولا ميسورا ولا تجعل يدك مغلولة إلى عنقك ولا تبسطها كل البسط فتقعد ملوما محسورا إن ربك يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر إنه كان بعباده خبيرا بصيرا ولا تقتلوا أولادكم خشية إملاق نحن نرزقهم وإياكم إن قتلهم كان خطأ كبيرا ولا تقربوا الزنا إنه كان فاحشة وساء سبيلا ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ومن قتل مظلوما فقد جعلنا لوليه سلطانا فلا يسرف في القتل إنه كان منصورا ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا بالعهد إن العهد كان مسؤولا وأوفوا الكيل إذا كلتم وزنوا بالقسطاس المستقيم ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا ولا تقف ما ليس لك به علم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا ولا تمش في الأرض مرحا إنك لن تخرق الأرض ولن تبلغ الجبال طولا كل ذلك كان سيئه عند ربك مكروها ذلك مما أوحى إليك ربك من الحكمة ولا تجعل مع الله إلها آخر فتلقى في جهنم ملوما مدحورا. Okay, brothers and sisters, this passage contains a number of prohibitions. Don't do this, this, this and this. I'm going to give a prize to whoever is able to list and tell me how many prohibitions there are in this passage, okay? It's an ongoing thing, you need to make a list. The second thing we're going to do in this session is have an ongoing quiz, which is to answer the question, what is the link? What's the link between this prohibition and this prohibition? You see, things are going to come in a sequence. Allah is going to say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Now, do you think that Allah would say things in any order, or do you think Allah would say them in a particular order? Particular order, right? And there needs to be a connection between this, and that's what is known as munasaba in tafsir. What is the munasaba between this verse and this verse? There must be a very profound connection between them. So I'll do part of this and you do part of this, okay? I will explain the verse, what does it actually mean, the tafsir, and then I'll ask you, okay, so how does this relate to this? For example, Allah will say, don't go anywhere near zina. Then Allah will say, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ. And don't kill a person who Allah has sanctified his soul. So I'll ask you, what is the link between zina and murder? Yeah, what is the link? So I need you to answer me, okay? And whoever is quiet will ask that person. Yeah, will ask that person. طيب. So, introductory points, I kind of mentioned that already. Let's get right into it, inshallah. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ, and your Lord. Notice how it's the Prophet ﷺ being addressed specifically, just like in Surah Tahrim. But just like in Surah Tahrim, even though it's about the Prophet ﷺ, it's actually to do with us. Yeah, it's actually to do with us. وَقَضَى, from decree, but doesn't mean decree in the sense of divine decree. What it means is, I have decreed, meaning ordered and commanded these things. Now the list is going to come. What is number one on the list? وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. I have ordered many things. On the top of the list is that you don't worship anyone save إِيَّاهُ, you and you alone, or him alone. Secondly, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. SubhanAllah. Number two on the list, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ, and your parents, I order you to show them ihsan. Ihsan is to show and to give good conduct, care, compassion, and really noble conduct. Yes, you're going to behave with them in the best way. Now, what is interesting is in the Quran, Allah never singles out any one of creation that you have to show ihsan to except the parents. Nowhere in the Quran does Allah say, you need to show this person ihsan. You need to show ihsan to people in general. Yeah, Allah says, وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ, and do good as Allah has done good to you, but never singled out a person. This person, you need to show him ihsan, except for the parents. Yeah, so not only are they coming number two in the list, they're also being identified as a unique group of individuals that need to be shown ihsan to. By who? By the children. Yeah, by the children. Now Allah is going to talk about a specific scenario that happens to many of us, which is our parents grow old, and we're in the picture. Yeah, our parents grow old and we're in the picture. And when it comes to that particular scenario, we are now told some unique pieces of guidance, instructions. That is, إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا. Now, if يَبْلُغَ, if they, both of them, were to reach old age. Remember we said this is specifically about old age. Now when they reach old age, Allah didn't say وَإِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ الْكِبَرَ, when they reach old age. Allah said when they reach, whilst they're with you, old age. As if Allah is saying, by the time they get to that age, you should be somewhere very close by. You shouldn't be somewhere in another country, or all you can do is have a 5-minute conversation over the phone. Mom, how are you doing? How did your doctor appointment go? Is it okay? Sorry, got to go now. Cards come to an end. No. عِنْدَكَ, when they are in your company and they become old. أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا, one of them or both of them. Because as if Allah is saying that, mom, she's mom, dad, he's dad. So they're different. The way mom gets old and gets a bit cranky with you, not like the way your dad gets old and cranky with you. Yeah? It's true, isn't it? Mom says bad things to you when she gets old. Tayyib, it's nowhere near as bad as what dad can do, isn't it? Mom can say some pretty bad things. Like, dad, dad just says whatever your mom said, okay? Listen to what she says, okay? So, أحدهما أو كلاهما, one of them or both of them, mom and dad. Okay, let's say both of them. They get old, okay? And meaning old as in cognitive functions begin to wear away. Memory is not sharp anymore, hearing is not that good anymore, they're not physically as fit anymore, they become ill. Okay, imagine now. Okay, now that's the scene. And you're there. Now what I want you to know is, number one, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفْ. Don't say to either of them, uff. Uff, originally, you know what it means? It means the dirt inside your ear or under your nails. This is uff. you were to pick out the dirt from under your nails, this is uff. Then it got coined to mean an expression of frustration. Expression of frustration. The mom comes to you, she's old and she goes, oh beta, can you get my medicine please? It's in the fridge. And you go to the fridge, it's not there, mom, where is it? She's, oh, I forgot, it's in the cupboard. Every time you don't put it in the right place. Expression of frustration. Oof. This is oof. But the way Allah chose the word to show us how He sees that word. This is how I see that word and that expression that came out of your mouth. It's oof. Disgusting. Despicable. Yeah, this expression of frustration towards your parents when they reach old age. فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفْ. And it also is talking about the least offensive thing you could say. The least. Yeah, the least. Which means that somebody shouldn't say, okay, what can I say? I can't say oof. What can I say? No, or why, or talk back. No. If oof is disallowed, everything else is disallowed. Yeah, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفْ وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا. Yeah, وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا. Tanharhuma comes from intihar. And intihar, it means to turn away in anger. Turn away in anger. So sometimes, you might say things that are offensive to your parents, or sometimes you might just do something that's offensive to your parents. Sometimes a person may just roll his eyes. Dad saying, come and teach me, how do you use this laptop anyway, this stupid thing? How do you send an email? What button do you press? Yeah, Dad, that one. Which one? This one. No, which one? Bloody hell, man. وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا. Not allowed to do that. Yeah, that type of turning away in anger, eyes rolled up, so this, nothing. Even this can't express that whatsoever. Yeah, can't express that. Now what is interesting is Allah is not telling us that you can't feel like that. Yeah, sometimes it's natural. Your parents may be able to rub you out the wrong way because when they get old, sometimes they do that, right? So Allah knows that's what's going to happen. But you can't do these things based on those feelings. Rather, you need to rein in those feelings. And the way you rein in those feelings, لا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما. Number 3, وقل لهما. Instead of behaving in that bad way, you're actually supposed to say قولا كريما, a word that is kareem, that is honorable. The dad saying, which button is it again? This one or this one? I say, Dad, is that one. What do you mean? What do you know about computers anyway? You don't know anything anyway. You want to say something like, Dad, give me a second, let me show you, isn't it? It's all right, look, let me just show you, look here, there you go. So you held back that frustration, never spoke or showed it in your manners, and instead, you actually done the opposite, which is to swallow it and say, it's okay, Dad, it's all right, no problem, I'll show you. And it's kareem, it's honorable. That is what Allah wants you to do in that situation. Now, if that was enough, just in terms of how Allah wants us to be, Allah went further. Said, no, there's actually more to it than that. وَخْفِضْ لَهُمَا. And do khafd means to lower. For them, both of them, جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. The wings of humility out of mercy. This is imagery. Allah wants you to think about a bird, like here, a bird that has wings, and those wings go up and down. When they are put down, it means that the bird is choosing to put his wings down even though it could do this. Yeah? Even though it could do this, it's actually bringing them down. Mom and dad, they're old, weak, vulnerable. What do you know? You're the one working, you're the one paying the bills, you're the one looking after them. If anything, I'm the man of this house now. I'm the one looking after you. If anything, my wings should be up. No, I know that you can because of the situation, but despite the situation, وَخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ. Dhul from dhalil. Dhalil, a very interesting word. It means that it's usually attributed to cattle. Cattle are dhalil because whatever the farmer tells them to do, even if they don't want to do it, they still do it. Horse doesn't want to be ridden. Person jumps on, it can't tell the person to get off. It's domesticated. Khalas, it's dalil. I have to do whatever you tell me to do. Yeah. So in dalil in Urdu is like a swear word, but in Arabic talking about. So out of dhulla, meaning don't really feel like doing this. One dad is difficult, and they say bad things to me, and but humble myself, lower those wings. Min ar-rahma. Min ar-rahma has many interpretations. One Imam Sa'di rahimahullah ibn Juzay mentioned is that this is the reason why you are not saying uff, not turning around in anger, and despite that saying good things to them, and on top of that lowering your wings to them, because min ar-rahma, you are motivated to do that in search of Allah's mercy, as opposed to because you're afraid what other people are going to say. Look at him, his mom and dad are so old, he's gone with his wife, and look, he's living somewhere else now, he's enjoying his life. Mom and dad are home, they're suffering. Baghairat admi. Isn't it? Some people, just to avoid being called baghairat, would say, oh God, your people are going to say things, let's go back and at least live somewhere near them so we can help them. Is it true or not? Yeah. Sometimes out of fear. Well, Dad, they're going to get so angry if I don't look after them, and they're going to tell me off, and I can't take them nagging at me anymore, let me just do it. La. That motivation is not good enough. Min ar-rahma. Do it for Allah's sake. And what is amazing, if you do it for Allah's sake, is that not saying uff, not turning away in anger, saying good things to them, lowering your wings out of mercy for them, meaning showing compassion to them, may not change mum whatsoever. Isn't it? Mum, she's just the same as she was before. She don't care if I swear or if I treat her good. She's just the same. Can't change her. Yeah, which means if you've done it for her, you didn't get nothing. But if you've done it for Allah, and she didn't change, you still got everything. Yeah, min ar-rahma. وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا. And say, meaning make dua, O Allah, O Master, irhamhuma, have mercy on both of them, just like Rabbayani. That word tarbiyah, remember that word? This is that word, yeah? Rabbayani, yeah, from Rabawa. Rabbayani means that they're the ones that brought me up. They're the ones that made me grow. Meaning my upbringing, I have to give it to them. So they showed me rahmah, Allah please show them rahmah. It's kind of like Allah wants us to think when you were saghir, young. Maybe you can't even remember this, but Allah's saying, remember, try to remember when you were sick and your mum was up all night, put you on her shoulder, trying to rock you back to sleep. She was, sleep deprived for like 3 days, but she done that for you. I want you to think about that, right? And when you think about that, make dua for them. Make dua for them. Yeah, even though you can't remember, I'm telling you, this is what they used to do. Rabbayani saghira. Okay. Now, رَبُّكُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا فِي نُفُوسِكُمْ. Your Lord knows best what is in yourselves. So like some people, they say, oh, be good to your parents. I've heard that so many times. But my mom and dad, you don't know what they're like, bro. Seriously, they're on another level. Honestly. Do you know my dad, what he says to me? When my kids are there, he says, don't listen to your dad. Yeah, and I try so hard to give him a good upbringing. And what do? They say, don't listen to your dad. He's saying, don't have any sweets. Hey, better have all the sweets you want. They undermine me all the time. Rabbukum a'lam. Allah knows the situation of every single person. Don't say, my situation is unique, I can't do any of this. Allah knows what is inside of your own souls. Don't make excuses. In takunu salihina fa innahu kana lil awwabina ghafura. A beautiful expression showing mercy towards people. Allah saying, if you are righteous, or you can bring yourselves to act like that, فَإِنَّهُ كَانَ لِلْأَوَّابِينَ غَفُورًا. Then regarding the awwabin, Allah has a special degree of forgiveness. The awwab comes from the root of aba. Aba means to go far away on a journey. Like the Prophet would say when coming back from a journey, what do you used to say? Aibuna, ta'ibuna, abiduna li rabbina hamidun. Aibuna, which means now we're coming back from a long journey. So the awwab are those people that go on a long journey down the road of sin. far away from Allah. Allah is saying, you're far away from me, Ya Awwab. Come back to me, I'll be Ghafoor to you. I've got a special degree of forgiveness for you. As if Allah knows that many of us, we're not good to our parents. We've gone very far down the line. Now they got old and now I don't think I can ever change anymore. You know, some people do that, you know. So far down the line of doing sin, I don't think I can go back now, you know. It's too difficult. Allah make it easy for you to go back by saying, إِنَّهُ كَانَ لِلْأَوَّابِينَ غَفُورًا. All those people have gone far away on a journey from me, come back to me. If you do, I'll forgive you. Yes, never go too far from Allah. Okay, so Allah gives us motivation to change. Now the question is going to come to you, brothers and sisters. A very different verse, or so it seems. وَآتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ وَالْمِسْكِينَ وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا. Break this verse into two parts. First part is about spending. وَآتِ, and give. ذَا الْقُرْبَى, those that possess qurb to you, closeness to you, which means your nearest and dearest relatives. Yeah? So Allah spoke about mum and dad, now Allah speaking about the relatives, very close relatives. آتِ الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ, their right. Their right. And not just حُقُوقَهُم, Allah said حَقَّهُ, as if individually saying this cousin of yours, this uncle of yours, this auntie of yours, this grandma of yours, that one there, each and every one of them has a right over you. Individually make sure you give them their right. Yeah, individually. As well as the miskin, the one who's stuck in poverty, وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ, and the traveler. Like a traveler who's kind of out traveling and you know he's become poor now, hasn't got enough money to get back home. So you take care of him, give him a place to stay, look after him so he can go back home. So what's the link between the first verses, which are telling us to be good to our parents, in particular when they get to old age, and the second verse which is telling us that you know you need to take care of your relatives and give them their rights? What do you think? Is that good conduct to those that are nearest to you? Yes, it is talking about that. But what's the link like? It's an obvious one. It's not a very deep or difficult one. Yes?
The relatives are, in essence, related to the parents.
Uh-huh.
The either mum, brother, dad, brother, etc. And then if parents do pass away, you still have a responsibility towards the relatives.
Okay, so it's like almost logical progression, you know. Parents, they're the closest. But then after the parents, it's not your best friend. Though you may think it's your best friend. Yeah, that deserves your love and care and appreciation. It's actually your relatives. Ah, okay, very good. So this is the logical concentric circles being drawn out. First of all, yourself, don't worship anyone but me. Then parents. And then, not your best friend, okay, not that buddy that you made online that you send emails to every single day. No, the person who deserves more of your attention, your money and your help is actually the qurba. Yeah? And then the miskin and the traveler. Now, this is a difficult question. وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا. And don't تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا. Don't spread the seed around. Literally, that's what it means. Don't spread the seed around. That's what it literally means. Tubadhir means to get some seeds and chuck them around. Yeah? So this is talking about spending your money, blowing your money. You know, like you blow your money. Don't blow your money, don't spread the seed around. So Allah is prohibiting us from doing tabdhir. Now there's another word for extravagance, which we've already taken. What is that word? Huh? Israf, yes. Wala yusrif. So israf and tabdhir, what's the difference? The difference between tabdhir and israf is that israf is being extravagant in things you actually need, and tabdhir is being extravagant in things that you don't need. And it can also include haram things, whereas israf is only to do with halal things. There's two distinctions there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that, you know, you got money, okay, don't blow it on things that you don't need. Don't blow it on things that you don't need. You don't need this, you don't need this, and you're blowing your money on that. So, who can tell us what the link is between the prohibition of not blowing your money on useless things and taking care of your parents and the relatives and the poor person and the wayfarer? Only hands, please. You're supposed to spend on your family that needs money?
Instead of wasting it,
Yep.
they were mostly needy.
Okay, so spend your money on those people they have greater priority.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's kind of already being said when Allah says that give them their right. It's like already being said they deserve something from you. Sometimes that's money. But then Allah says, وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا, and don't blow your money in wasteful things. You're kind of nearly there.
Sorry, is that referring to, I know with the family they come first, but then you can also waste it on them as well. So it's kind of referring to think where you're spending it, even when it comes to your family, it's kind of spread your seeds.
Okay, it might be that it actually is to do with the family, that somebody might be so loving towards their family that they spend all of their money on their family. Yeah. Sometimes we do that, you go on a holiday, for example, holiday for the family, I need to get the family away, I haven't spent much time with the kids and everything. Where are you going? Oh, well, we're kind of going to go around the whole world, and it's going to take about 6 months, probably take about 10, 20 grand. وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا. Maybe, wallah alam, I can't confirm this, I haven't come across it, but perhaps. Yes, Ayn.
Does it come back to the aspect of showing gratitude?
Showing gratitude.
That's one of the fact that He's given you the wealth that you have. Obviously, with gratitude towards Allah, gratitude towards the people you have with you, and obviously parents. Or if you waste it,
Yeah, what happens if you waste it? This is the connection. Yes.
Is it that you've got it and you're being told, one, that you've mentioned that don't do Isra on things you need, and
Yep.
then secondly, don't use it on stuff you don't need, i.e. don't throw it around. There are people there who do need it,
Yes.
and as an obligation to Allah, that He's given it to you, and He's got people there who need it,
Yep.
you need to actually use it usefully.
Almost there. Which is essentially that if you do tabdhir, what may happen is that you can't give the haqq to your relatives anymore. They have a right, and what happens is if you spend all your money and blow your money on a holiday, for example, and then the cousin comes to you and says, I'm in a tight spot right now, my business is really bad, I need some money from you. Ooh, these 2 tickets here, so 10 grand each on them. Sorry, I can't help you out anymore. Yeah, there's a link there, no? You make tabdhir, one of the consequences is that you can't give the haqq to your relatives. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Now Allah describes these people that do tabdhir. إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. Squanderers are brothers to the shaitan. وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِرَبِّهِ كَفُورًا. And shaitan was ungrateful to his Lord. Kafura is that it's a mubalagha, it's a more intense form. So Allah is saying that shaitan is so damn ungrateful to his Lord. Now you rewind to the beginning of the verse, and Allah says that these people that blow their money on silly things, the way I see them, they're like the brothers of shaitan. Now the thing is, shaitan, Allah describes one of the objectives of shaitan when it comes to man. Allah says, يريد الشيطان أن يوقع بينكم العداوة والبغضاء. What shaitan really wants is to try and incite adawa and baghda between you. Adawa means enmity. Baghda means animosity. So shaitan wants to do things to human beings to make them turn on one another so they hate each other. Now put that in your mind and think about a person who blows his money, or people that blow their money, like the super rich. Yeah? You want to say something?
Well, as a society, you end up hating those people because they have something they could give you that wouldn't affect them,
Yeah.
that would help you as a need situation, and they're just blowing it on something they don't have any need for.
Exactly.
Because they can.
Exactly, very good. So you see the super rich, for example,
They hate each other.
okay, and I got a report there at the bottom, there's a news cutting there. Recent report, Oxfam have a report, and they entitled it, Richest 1% to own more than the rest of the world. Imagine, 1% of people now or very soon will own more than everyone else put together. Now imagine those 1%. they are extravagant and they are flamboyant and they waste their money in the faces of everybody else. Driving around in the best cars, going to dine in the best places. Now, just imagine someone sees that. Just imagine someone sees that. Like, for example, there's a single parent mother. She's on the dole, which happens. So many of them now in this country. She's watching the TV and she sees this document. There's a documentary coming on at the moment called Super Rich. So I was watching it with my wife. You just snipped past it and you thought, what's going on? At that point, the guy who's doing the documentary says, there's this salon in Knightsbridge and they offer a facial. And this is not ordinary facial, he says. This facial is done by using gold. It is this facial mask thing made out of pure gold. And it costs a bit of money to have it done. How much does it cost? £30,000 for a facial. And let's imagine that single-age mother, single parent mother, sitting there with a kid. She has come back from the job centre and been told the government has now rewired the welfare system and you actually end up getting less than before. And she comes home and she flicks on the TV and the hell, £30,000 facial made out of gold. Those people, man, how can they? Oh God, I hate them, man. Isn't it? So they are inciting adaw al-baghda just like shaitan. That's what Allah said. They're the brothers of shaitan. Yeah? And this is what happens, isn't it? People extravagant, shove it in your face and you start hating them. When human beings hate each other, it leads to chaos. Social structuring of the society. Now, interesting that Allah didn't say having loads of money is the problem. Isn't it? Allah says, وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ, don't blow the money. So the prohibition is not, oh, you're very rich, don't be very rich. No, the prohibition is don't go around flouting that money in the faces of other people by wasting it. وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِرَبِّهِ كَفُورًا. And as for shaitan, then he was to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very, very ungrateful. And this is what you find. Super rich people, most arrogant and ungrateful people. Now, وَإِمَّا تُعْرِضَنَّ عَنْهُمْ إِبْتِغَاءَ رَحْمَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكَ تَرْجُوهَا فَقُلْ لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَيْسُورًا. Okay, another situation now. So say that you're not actually that rich. Now you're not that rich, but you still got to fulfill the rights of others, right? So you're in a tight spot yourself, you haven't got much money. Your cousin comes knocking on the door and he says, you know what, bro, I'm in a very bad situation at the moment. Or your brother or your sister and says, I need some money, can you loan me some? You ain't got none. You're already in a bad situation yourself. Now there's a number of ways you can let them down, right? You could say, don't you know what, let me tell you what I'm going through. Let me tell you, sit down. I just lost my job, okay? A wife's doing my head in. And now you're coming to ask me for money? Isn't it? Well, Allah says, even if you're in that situation, I'll tell you how to respond. وَإِمَّا تُعْرِضَنَّ عَنْهُمْ إِبْتِغَاءَ رَحْمَةٍ, meaning that you yourself are in search of Allah's rahmah, meaning you're in need of Allah's rizq. So you're already in a tight spot. And then they come to you. What you should do is تَرْجُوهَا فَقُلْ لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَيْسُورًا. You should say to them an easy word, meaning you should put them down easily. Refuse them in an honorable way. Say, you know what? And the tafsir here is that you should make dua to Allah. Oh Allah, enrich me and enrich you. May Allah give us money. So the person comes to you and says, look, I need some money. You don't say, oh, do you know what's going on in my life? You say, you know what, let's make dua to Allah, He's going to help us. Don't worry, it's going to be all right. Let's make dua now to Allah. Allah, please give us a rizq. Yeah, this is what Allah is teaching us. So even in a bad situation, there's the best way to act. Okay. وَلَا تَجْعَلْ يَدَكَ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ عُنُقِكَ وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ فَتَقْعُدَ مَلُومًا مَحْسُورًا. Now don't make this hand of yours مَغْلُولَة to your unuq, to your neck. Imagery again, hand is tied to your neck. Now this person who's had his hand tied to his neck is a father of 5, for example. So he takes his children and his wife to shopping. Wife sees something. Can we get that, please? No problem. No problem. Kids say, I want this, no problem. And when it comes to paying for the money, it's like this, hands over here to his neck. And when it comes to get the money out of his wallet, he's like, oh God, it's killing me. Every time he puts his hand out to get the money out, it's killing him. Yeah, don't be like that, Allah is saying. Don't be so miserly like that. But then maybe you go from one extreme to the other extreme. وَلَا تَبَسُطْهَا. Don't do bust of your hands. Bust means to outstretch them, like this. So like you go shopping with your wife and your kids and you're like, whatever you want, put it in there. Is anything you want today, you get it all. Okay, don't go from this extreme to that extreme. No, subhanAllah, human beings have this nature. Go from one extreme to another extreme. Isn't that true? Seriously, it's ajib. In ideology as well as in behavior as well. One extreme to another extreme. Now the interesting thing is that Allah says the fate of both these people ends up being the same, which is فَتَقْعُدَ, and so they end up sitting down مَلُومًا مَحْسُورًا. Maloom means that they become blameworthy in society, and mahsura from hasar, which means to feel regret and anguish. So imagine both scenarios now. Someone who's very miserly, he's got money, but he finds it so difficult to spend that money. What kind of life is he going to live? You know, there's a documentary on hoarders on at the moment. These people, yeah, these people need counseling. And they go for counseling. They start crying. They said, it started 20 years ago with my first TV, and I couldn't get rid of it. I put it in the garage, and then after that, it just started going all downhill, and now I can't get rid of anything. I have to keep everything that comes into my possession. And it's become like, I'm paranoid now. Can't lose anything. So they are so miserly, can't let anything go whatsoever. I need to keep everything. What does it lead them to become? Miserable people. The opposite scenario. Let's get everything on the house, spend all the money. Oh, what happens? Oh God, the bill for the gas just came through. Have you seen this bill? How are we going to pay for this bill? And everyone's saying, oh yeah. I saw that big 52-inch TV box outside your house the other day, and now you can't pay for the gas. Maluma, blameworthy. As for you, how do you feel now? Mahsura. Oh, I regret it so much, man. Don't live beyond your means. Yeah, don't live beyond your means. And this applies on an individual level. It also applies on a national level. Just look at this paper cutting, yeah? Britain's national debt tops 1 trillion. The amount of debt our country is in is around the 1 trillion mark. 1.5 trillion now, yeah? So this is from last year, isn't it? 24th January, is it 2012, is it? So this idea, okay, of living beyond your means, if you take it on a national level, what that actually means is that you create a debt-based system. Am I right? It's a debt-based money model that we live by. Now, whatever way you look at it, you're always in debt. The country is thriving, on the books you're in debt. Yeah. Now, what kind of, they talk about the new upcoming generation, how each child is going to be born with a certain figure of debt on their head already, right? I think it's around the thousands. Now, you tell me, what type of life will that child live when he's told that, by the way, on your head is already this amount of debt? What type of life would society live when they know that they are debt-ridden? Miserable, right? And this is the recession, misery coming to them. So even on a societal level, Allah is saying, don't be like this and don't be like this. And if you do, consequence is going to be the same. You're going to end up regretting it, and you're going to end up being blameworthy. Yeah. Okay. Now you might be thinking, well, at the end of the day, some people are rich, some people are poor. That's what way Allah made it, right? Why did Allah make it like that? إِنَّ رَبَّكَ يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَقْدِرُ. Allah does bust of rizq for some, meaning He gives a lot to some, and He does qadr for others, meaning He restricts it for others. Why? إِنَّهُ كَانَ بِعِبَادِي خَبِيرًا بَصِيرًا. Because he knows regarding his servants, he's khabir, all knowing of what they're like, and basir, all seeing as well. Meaning, every individual is different. And I give them based on their individual makeup. For some, giving them a lot actually could bring out the best in them. For some, giving them a lot will ruin them. And I do it like this, for wisdom. Yeah, for wisdom. I give to the rich in order to create the opportunity for them to give sadaqah. I take from these people who become poor, and that gives them an opportunity to have sabr. Yeah, and having sabr, giving sadaqah, ultimately, both of them are good deeds. Yeah, and I do all of this based on the individuals, out of wisdom. Okay. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ خَشْيَةَ إِمْلَاقٍ. And do not kill your awlad, your families, meaning your children, خَشْيَةَ إِمْلَاقٍ. Okay. Imlaq means to become poor or to be reduced to poverty. So you fear that if you have kids that you become poor. And that fear drives you to kill your children, as some of the Arabs would do at that time. Now, in order to help a person in that situation overcome that fear, Allah says, نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُهُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ. نَحْنُ, we will enrich them and you. We'll continue after Adhan, inshallah.